What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Serial Dreamer podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with one of my favorite ball players. He played at Auburn. He's one of the guys who took a very untraditional, step-by-step approach to getting to that D1 Power 5 level. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Myles Parker today. So I would like for y'all to enjoy this interview. Let me know what you think down in the comments.
Yeah, man. So I started playing basketball about the age of 5. I really didn't know how basketball worked when I first started. I
Yeah.
used to double dribble all the time. So it took me a minute to figure it out. Once I got it, though, it got a little easier.
Yeah.
So I played when I was 5. Then I started playing upward next. I was scoring probably about like 20 a game. It was only 28 points up on the board. So,
Were you,
it started carrying a little bit.
yeah, were you tall? Like, were you the tallest player?
Back then, I was. Yeah, I was. I was. At
Yeah.
that time, I was. So I would just do what I do outside. You
Yeah.
don't see many kids outside no more. But
Right.
back in our days, we used to be outside all the time, man.
All day long.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So then that started. Once after that, I went to Union Chapel Christian Academy.
Okay.
Played there. That was a fun experience because we used to play all the private schools.
Yeah.
And you play those like Holy Family and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy.
Oh yeah, we running it up with them.
Yeah.
And then after, so that was about 6th grade. And then I played at Liberty Middle School for
Okay.
Coach Hunt. Man, Coach Hunt that's the GOAT right there, man. He had James Clemens right now. That's
Okay.
the GOAT right there. So I
Uh,
played coach for 2 years. Man, I got some experience playing up and down. Played seventh grade, then played 8th grade in seventh
yeah.
grade. So the 8th grade team used to give it to us. So at the time,
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't never had nobody that I had to like, you know, rise my
Compete.
competition against
Yeah.
at the time. But that was a good experience, I would say. And
Yeah.
then
So
my 8th grade,
when you got to middle school, were you still the tallest kid, or were people kind of catching up to you at this point?
yeah. So I think people were definitely catching up to me. I was probably
Okay.
about like 5'10".
In middle
So
school, that's still
in
tall.
7th grade, oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah,
Jeez.
5'10". But check this out: from 7th grade to 8th grade, I was 5'10". Then 8th grade, I grew to 6'5".
That's crazy. That's
All in one
crazy.
summer.
That's crazy. I know
Oh,
your parents were mad.
oh, man, I used to lay in the bed just hurting, just laying there in
Yeah.
pain. Didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So that happened, and it
Jeez.
was it was a at the time I was a little goofy,
Yeah.
I would say. But when you getting tall, you just trying to adjust to your body.
Yeah.
And then so after Liberty in the 8th grade, I started playing high school with James Clemens during the summertime.
Okay.
I would go play with the JV team.
Okay.
When I tell you that was different, a whole different ball game from that
Yeah.
transition. And now we had Coach Tiggs. So
Yeah.
that's
Because
the
James Clemens had just came, right? Like they just built that school at that point, right?
mhm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they had just built. And
Yeah.
so it was supposed to be me, Jamal, and you remember DJ Harvey?
Yeah.
So all of us had planned. We were about to go to James Clemens, man. We were about to go to James Clemens, and DJ ended up going to DeMatha, and then Jamal ended up moving out to Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was just crazy. And then so I was at James Clemens, and then so it was probably about halfway through my freshman year, we decided to head over to Madison Academy.
Okay.
It's a little tough to say no to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was working out with Josh Langford at the time at BCI with Andy McCloy.
Yeah.
So that was the easy, setup. So ended up working for the best. And then from my high school career, I started developing, I would say.
Okay.
Most definitely just from watching players like Josh
Yeah.
and playing with them. Man, you gotta really raise the bar.
Raise your, yeah.
Oh yeah. So each level you go up, man, it's just like another challenge. You got to race that bar, man, to
Yeah.
compete, get some playing time. So it was maybe halfway through my that once I transferred over,
Mhm.
I ended up getting to play in December, and we played in the Huntsville Times Classic, and ended up playing James Clemens in
Oh,
the
wow.
Huntsville Times Classic. And then I was playing a lot as a
Yeah.
freshman over there, so it was funny at the same time. And then just at that moment in ninth grade, you trying to take it all in. You like, I'm playing
Yeah.
varsity. I'm playing my friends. I thought they was the best team in
Yeah.
the state, and we beat them.
Yeah.
But of course,
They had to raise your confidence. Were you getting a lot of minutes in that game?
oh yeah, ninth
Okay.
grade. Once the fourth man got tired, I was the next person in.
Yeah.
So I was hoping he got winded sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so 10th grade is when my confidence started really developing. Most
Okay.
definitely after watching that senior group from being in ninth grade and seeing what they've done, because they won a state championship the year before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, but Madison Academy was in the state championship almost every year, man.
I heard about Myles Academy. Yes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's Coach Blackson right there, man.
Yeah.
He came from UAH, so he was
Okay.
coaching at UAH before he came to Madison Academy. So
Okay.
he had that college knowledge that
Yeah.
really transferred later on.
Yeah.
But
I can imagine.
oh yeah. So 10th grade we ended up winning it all, and that was with a loaded team. We had Will Acuff. That's when everybody was starting to get they character in the
Yeah.
game. Say,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it was fun. We had Austin Troxel,
Okay.
uh, big man, big about 6'8", 6'9",
Yeah.
almost 300 pounds, dunking the ball, sealing on defense. So
Yeah.
yeah, we had to deal with that sweat in practice, man. We had
Yeah.
to we had to deal with that in practice. And so 11th grade is when everything started to come together. I was playing AAU. I played for Team Thad. I
Okay.
played for Team Carroll, Alabama Challenge, you name it. And then about 10th grade year is when my injury happened when I broke my leg. I
Okay.
broke my leg, and I think that was a defining moment in my career
How
because
so?
oh yeah, when you have an injury, I would say it really separates you from the physical part and
Right.
more to the mental side. So
Yeah.
you get to see like what you really made of when you breaking down the game
Yeah.
and you hungry for more stuff. Man, just staying hungry is the key to
Yeah.
that for sure, and just attacking therapy.
Yeah. So
It
do
was
you think that injury built you stronger mentally? And do you think that played a part when you came back on the court? Do you think you approached the game differently after
oh,
having that injury?
oh yeah, most definitely. Because I feel like when you break something or tear something or have some type of injury,
Yeah.
you trying to be hesitant, right? You trying
Yeah.
to find ways to protect it and at the
Yeah.
same time still do what you do. So
Yeah.
I used to find myself trying to like handicap my injury,
Yeah.
in certain situations and not do what I usually do. But
Yeah.
it took time to develop. I would say about a few months of confidence to build back up to trust my leg again.
Yeah.
And they put screws in it, so they was like, it ain't gonna break again.
Yeah.
So you can go out there and do what you do.
Yeah.
So
It,
once I
it just
started,
takes that. Yeah, it just takes that one dunk. Once you get that one dunk and
oh
you
yeah,
land again, that's when you're like, okay, yeah, I'm good.
oh yeah, hang on the rim, baby. Talk to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that definitely helped me become the player I was because I
Okay.
was just hungry to get through this therapy. Sitting out, I hated sitting out, man. I
Yeah.
hated it, every bit of it. So yeah, attacking that therapy most definitely helped me with the bounce. I would say
Okay.
because I was bouncy then, but then after the therapy, it was a whole different ball game
Yeah.
because you retrain the muscle. You might overtrain it,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
but
because in therapy, you're doing plyometrics, you're doing a lot of stuff that the typical athlete won't really do on a normal day. So
hmm
you're training your muscles a little bit differently. So you're training them to be springy, you train them to be strong and flexible. You're
hmm
elongating those muscles. So instead of just coming out there and stretching a couple of minutes before you practice, in therapy, you're actually going through routines of stretching and plyometrics and different things like that. So did you continue what you did in therapy? Did you continue that once you got back on the court, or did you kind of
Yeah.
resort to?
Oh yeah, man. It became a habit after I
Yeah,
started to realize progress. It became a habit, man, because I was like, it ain't no way that I'm gonna let that ever happen again.
yeah, yeah.
Because that was an uncomfortable feeling.
I could,
I
yeah,
don't, yeah, breaking something, man. My mom was there too, so it was even worse.
yeah.
My
No,
uncle put me on the
panicking.
shoulder. Oh yeah, my uncle put me on the shoulder. He was like, "Man, it's just broken out of place. It's just popped out of place."
Yeah,
And I looked at it. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that ain't popped out of place. That thing twisted, man. That don't,
jeez.
man." And then
Oh,
so yeah, that happened in 10th grade, and then going over to my junior year is when Josh was a senior,
yeah.
and so he was like top 20 in the country
Mm.
on via ESPN, and so we had Calipari, we had Billy Donovan coming in at the time, we had Tom Izzo
Yeah,
there, dang near every game.
yeah,
Bruce Pearl was there all the time.
yeah.
Anthony Grant, the whole SEC basically, man. And so it was pretty cool because and Tennessee as well. So I started
Right.
getting interest from all these schools just from playing with Josh.
Yeah.
So I would go look at my letterbox, man. I was so happy. I was like, "Hey man, I got a letter from Tennessee, dog!"
Yeah.
Like, just getting excited, pumped and stuff. So that really opened my eye towards like the recruitment process and how it all works,
Yeah.
and just seeing what it takes to try to get to the level of getting the offers from those schools.
Right.
Because the interest don't mean nothing at the end of the day. Interest is interest. They just saying they got an eye on you, basically.
Right.
Until they give you that offer, that's when you locked in for sure.
Right.
So my junior year, I was playing really good, and App State ended up sending me my first offer
Okay.
in high school, Appalachian State, out in Boone,
Boom. Yeah.
North Carolina, and I actually took an official visit there. Man, it was the most hectic scene I've seen in my life. It was
Yeah.
fun though. I can't lie. It was one of the best times I done had, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But just seeing what college was like just showing me that I would have to focus here because you got freedom, you got everything,
Right.
so it would be easy to get off track easily.
Right.
So just having that, knowing that in 11th grade, really prepared me for the next steps. So I ended up after my senior year, Josh was gone. It was just me and Colin and Colin Blanchard and
Yeah.
a few others, Kiki Matthews, my whole class. We had a whole lot of people
Yeah.
uh, that had the experience basically of just playing with that 11th grade group, and then
Right.
coming over to the senior year, we had a full class, and we got to the finals and we lost. Man, I had went. It was probably the worst game I ever played. I had went 3 for 17.
Jesus.
Man, it was time to be shooting the ball, but I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna stop, man. I wasn't gonna stop. And then after my senior year, um, I realized that I could have an opportunity to either go to one of the schools that offer me,
Mhm.
or just try to go to a prep school where I could learn the college level and not waste a year
Right.
sitting behind somebody or trusting this or that.
Right.
So I went to Hargrave Prep School.
Yeah.
At the time, my friend Justin Brown had went there, and he got a scholarship to go to USF.
Right.
So that was in my eyes. I'm like, oh man, that's huge right there. And then you look at the players that come from Hargrave. You got Spates, Mo Spates. You
Yeah.
got who else? Montrezl Harrell,
Yeah.
Terry Rozier.
That's
So
the
many.
yeah, it's the big
Hancock.
names.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And remember Hancock from Louisville,
Yeah.
white boy that could shoot, man. We every time he shot, we knew he was in.
So
We
is
knew.
that what is that those names? Did that kind of push your decision more? Like, if they're going to all these different places, if all these different people are trusting this program, did that make it feel like that was the best choice for you?
Oh man, hands down for sure. Because not even the players were successful. Even the coaches would
Yeah,
get a job here at like AW got a job at NC State. Like he
yeah.
went straight from Hargrave to NC State. So I'm like, yo, hey man,
That's a
this
big
kind of
reputation. Yeah,
yeah, this kind of dope. This is serious right here.
yeah.
And so we got there. AW had just left, and that was the one who wanted me to come to Hargrave at the time. But
Okay.
he ended up leaving. We had got a new coach, which was the assistant coach, who was a really good coach. And man, the players that come to Hargrave, it's not just you. It's not just you, the best
Yeah,
player at your high school. Now
yeah,
you playing with all the other top players from
yeah,
around the region,
yeah,
and you really got to show, or you just not gonna play at all.
yeah. Because that's a
Oh,
grind. The
oh
prep
yeah,
school, as big as the reputation was around Hargrave, it's still a grind. If you don't put in the work, you're not gonna make it out of that prep.
at all, at
You know,
all.
yeah. I like when you first told me, a few years, a couple years ago that you went, to
Mm-hmm.
Hargrave. I remember you from Auburn, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know you went to Hargrave, so I was like, that made me have even more respect for your game because I know what it takes to go those extra levels.
Oh
Saying
yeah,
those extra steps to get to your ultimate destination, it takes a lot.
a whole
And
lot.
and to go through an injury, like
Mm-hmm.
that speaks a lot about your mental. What I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if you go through an injury, you come back. And then instead of going with the easy choice and say, let me go to App State or let me go this place because they offered me.
Mm-hmm.
No, let me take one more step because I have an ultimate goal to go even higher. And so
Mm-hmm.
that shows a lot about your mental. And even at, you're what, 6'7",
Mm-hmm. Yes,
six,
sir.
seven? So that's where, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but that's where I really want kids to understand as far as the size, talent, skill, all means absolutely nothing if your mental is weak.
That's
If
true.
you don't have the mindset to be challenged and to take those extra steps, to be told no, to take longer routes, you're not gonna make it far.
At all.
So I'm glad you said that. And we'll talk about that part a little later because I got some kids that need to hear some real truths.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh,
but so you get to Hargrave. So when did you realize that Auburn and these other schools were starting to look at you? Like how long, like what was that process like as far as getting to Hargrave and then going through that training and playing there? What was that like?
oh yeah, man. We woke up at Hargrave, man. It was basically we were in college already
Yeah,
because it's the military academy, so
yeah,
you gotta wake up sharp about 5:30 a.m. Get your bed folded, make sure you shave, and
yeah.
be out on the line before the reveille horn sound. So you
Woo.
gotta you gotta be up ready to march.
Yeah,
Ready to march. We marched every morning, man, to the front. Did every morning they did the revelry song.
yeah,
You hear that horn go off, man, you just know. You just know it's early in the morning. Nobody want to do nothing. We
yeah,
lining up to go to breakfast,
yeah,
man. It was different, but it was definitely something to adjust to,
yeah.
and it was addicting. I would say, in the sense of just having stuff to do every day and it's planned out, structured,
Right.
basically, which is hard to find in schools, most definitely. But
Absolutely.
once you got it, man, it's just easy.
Yeah.
And then we doing practice sometimes twice a day. So we doing this in prep school.
Yeah.
That just helps you in college, man, because
Yeah.
you're not
It's a
shocked.
standard. Yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
sets a standard.
oh yeah.
And then if you're gonna go to a prestigious program after that, there's a standard already there. You can't come in below that standard, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't come in and bring their standard down with your lack of effort or lack of wanting to do stuff like that. So for Hargrave to be able to have y'all buy into that system like that is the reason they're so successful. You
Oh
know, I've played against a lot of preps. I've seen a lot of preps. I've done the prep thing. The hardest thing is to get kids to buy into that level of work.
oh yeah.
They want to practice for 1 hour a day and then they want to just shoot around for the rest of the time. You know,
Oh, man. That
yeah,
sounds fun. That sounds good right
that's what I'm
there.
saying.
Shoot.
That's what they think the
Hmm.
next level looks like. Because when you look on Instagram, you're not gonna see, back in the day, you're not gonna see like John Wall and all these people
Hmm.
posting their training. You're gonna see them posting the stuff that looks fun, that looks glorious, because that's what gets the attention on Instagram.
Thanks.
And so these kids are like, oh, we just need to put up 500 shots. If I put up 500 shots a day, I'm going D1. But then you get in the game, and like you said, you can have those games where you go 3 for 17. It's
Hmm.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen to the best of them. So just shooting is not gonna get you anywhere. You have to do so much more. And at the prep level, it's almost impossible to find 5 kids that will do that. You can
Yeah.
find one, but to find enough to make a whole program
Oh
is
yeah.
almost impossible.
Oh
It's
yeah.
almost
I
impossible.
see exactly what you mean, man. That's why it would be people falling off at Hargrave. It would be people like, oh man, I don't think I could do this no more.
Yeah,
They gone. They
it's a
leave.
reality check.
They out of there. They out of and it's just the strongest survive for real because
Yeah,
it got to the end at Hargrave where I had at the end of my season at Hargrave towards the end I had fractured my ankle. So here we go again,
you need
another
you need some
process.
you need some milk, man.
Oh
It's
yeah,
from what I'm hearing, it's like you didn't drink a lot of milk back
oh yeah, man. I needed something. I needed some help, man.
then.
But so yeah, I had fractured my ankle. I thought I could play through it,
Yeah,
but it got so bad, man. My ankle started turning purple, blue, all different type of
yeah,
colors. So I was like,
yeah.
I might have to chill out for a little minute. So it
Yeah.
got to the end of the signing period, and I wasn't signing anybody. And at the time, Jamal, my best friend, uh, was at Memphis.
Yeah,
He was getting ready to transfer,
yeah,
and so he was getting recruited by Coach Flanagan, who I used to talk to Coach Flanagan when he was at Mississippi State as well.
mhm,
But so I already knew who he was, and so Coach Flanagan had moved over to Auburn too as well,
yeah,
and so, they brought Jamal in on his freshman year, and he asked me if I wanted the opportunity to come play as a preferred walk on because at the time
yeah,
they didn't have any scholarships because a guy named Stretch he was coming in as like one of the top centers, and he had got sent back home to
mhm,
uh, Africa. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
somewhere in Africa, but and that's when Trump administration was in office, so
yeah,
they was hard on who coming
yeah,
back, who not. So it took my boy a whole year, which was tough for everybody at the time, but he finally came, man. Everybody was excited.
yeah,
But my whole freshman year, I was going the beginning of the year, I was the only freshman on the team. And then we started adding more people on the team. And then so it was like maybe 3 or 4 other freshmen.
yeah.
But I was the only one at the time that was traveling. It was 2 freshmen that was traveling, me and the guy named Preston. And
Okay.
that was new. That was new. That experience was so different, man,
Yeah,
from any experience I could ever explain. Because now you're not dealing with the best high school, the best
yeah,
talent here. You're dealing with draft picks.
yes,
You know, it's a whole different ball game.
yeah,
Now you got egos you got to play against. You got this, that. You never know what this dude might
yeah,
do. You know, so it's like, okay, now we gotta raise the bar again. You
yeah,
know, and try to get your name out there.
yeah,
So any opportunity, man, I was hungry for it.
yeah,
Anytime I got to show what I could do, I was ready for it. Me and Jamal used to be in the gym
yeah,
24/7, man, trying to play 1-on-1, shoot offs.
yeah.
He'll say he beat me in every single game, but you know, yeah, that's not true, you know.
It don't sound realistic.
Oh yeah, and then so like seeing people train like Bryce Brown,
Yeah,
man, that dude there, man. Anybody I ever seen work hard, dog.
yeah,
He repping every move, and
yeah,
not just shots. He not repping shots. He repping moves that he do in the game, full speed.
yeah,
So seeing that coming into the SEC, it was just like, oh dang, these dudes like this is life right here. This
yeah.
is
I
this
mean,
is
you
like
can tell by his shooting mechanics though. Like you can tell how he holds the ball, triple threat position, all the way into how he goes into his shot. that he works on that like consistently. You can
Oh yeah.
just, I used to hear, hearing the announcers when they used to call y'all's games, hearing
Hmm.
the announcers, that's the stuff they would say. Beautiful shot. The mechanics
Right
are
in the
beautiful.
pocket.
Like
Catch
even when he
right in the pocket.
misses, yeah, even when he misses, you gotta think it's going in because he
Hmm.
shoots so pure. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I remember that. I remember the shot. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Then you got Bryce working on his shooting and his mechanics, and then
yeah,
you got on the other side of the court, you got Jared Harper.
crazy,
Man,
crazy.
talk about work ethic, dog.
Yeah,
He either lifting or he in there working on some crazy pass that he gonna do for the next game,
yeah,
or just like break. He knew. Okay, so Bruce basically made him like the quarterback,
yeah,
basically, which is the point guard who is always the quarterback.
yep,
And man, just seeing how he knew everybody's position, like it'll be times he would stop the practice and be like, "Hey, coach, no, that's not right.
yeah,
You move him over here, and he goes up.
yeah,
Hey, that's my bad. You're right." So like, when you got a player like that on the team, man, there's like another coach on the floor.
right,
That's basically impossible to like stop because when chaos hit, you got the 30,000, 40,000 people yelling in your ear. You
right,
can't hear nothing. You're gonna need that type of experience.
yeah,
So just seeing that from that perspective, man, it really changed a lot because that freshman year, I ended up playing a little bit here
yeah,
and there, coming in and out, subbing in. So that was exciting for me at the
yeah,
time. I was definitely being a walk on at the time and getting notoriety a little bit. So I was soaking
yeah,
it all in. But then the season came, and then we ended up starting off going to Maui
yeah,
beginning of the year. We
yeah,
played in Maui, which was insane. Man, when I tell you, you seeing legends
yeah,
like Dick Vitale,
yeah,
man, and then you hear the voice, you like, oh baby, you like,
yeah.
oh
He
my
sounds just
goodness,
like,
this this the real thing right here, dog.
yeah,
Like here, and then you see, but I played Zion in high school, every now and then in the circuit when he played on Game Elite. He was
yeah,
younger. So I always knew who he was. Like he would dunk on. He caught me one time on a putback, but
yeah.
that's all we gonna go to right there. We ain't gonna try to find it. So
You know,
oh
I'm gonna
yeah.
find it. I'm gonna do my research.
So he had got to Duke. Then R.J. Barrett was that dude.
Yeah,
Uh, Cam Reddish was that dude.
they
So
had
that
seen.
was a that was a stacked team, man. So we played. We ended up playing. I'm pretty sure it was Xavier, and we ended up playing Arizona. We beat both of them, and then we played Duke last for like the semifinals or whatever. Man, that was a fight,
I
like
remember that. I
a
remember that
fight.
game. Yeah,
Dog, we had this dude named Horace Spencer, man. That was my big senior right there, dog.
yeah,
Grown man too, like
yeah,
shoulders broad. You like it would jump with anybody.
yeah,
Man, it was one play Zion had went up for a dunk, dog. And when I tell you these dudes was so high in the sky, I'm looking like, yo, like something about to happen.
yeah.
Man, he reached up there and blocked it. I'm like, I'm the first one off the bench. So I'm like, because I didn't play as much in the big games, right? So
Yeah.
I would try to find ways to bring something to the table with the team. So
Right.
my thing would be energy. I'm the energy guy. I could give energy. I could feed. I could get everybody lit, get everybody
Yeah.
excited, get the crowd involved from the bench.
Yeah.
Like I'm still on the team, but I'm on the bench,
And
and
the, and
it's
the coaching staff sees that. You know what I'm saying?
oh
Your
yeah,
coaching staff sees it, your players, your teammates see it. So that matters.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it matters for real because it, like I said, it don't matter like who in front of you,
Yeah.
as long as you producing in some type of way or
Yeah.
form, man, that's easy right there.
Yeah.
And then so freshmen then always travel with the team
Right.
like every different place. And I got the opportunity to go to every place because I was like the funny guy basically.
Yeah.
And, so I made sure I knew I had handshakes with every single person on the team.
Yeah.
So we all had handshakes, and then I was doing the handshakes to come out and stuff. So I was like, "Yo, easy. That's
Yeah.
easy work. That's
Yeah.
easy work." So they were almost like forced, kind of, just because I knew the handshakes. Like
Take you with them.
I had to come on the road.
That kind of falls into that lane of superstition. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah,
Once you develop that type of thing, you don't want to change that, especially if you're having success. You know what I'm saying?
oh
If
yeah,
you're winning games in that, like the Maui tournament, like even though you don't win the whole thing, or if you do win the whole thing, whichever the outcome is, if you have a good showing, you don't
oh
want
yeah.
to change anything about what you did to approach those games. So
Right.
if you're at the beginning of our line, we're gonna keep Myles at the beginning of our line. Like I don't care who else comes or who doesn't come. Myles needs to be down there because that's what we did when we played against such and such, and
Oh
we
yeah.
need to keep that going. So I mean, you kind of implemented yourself. You know, you did like you said, you found a way to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
Any ball player knows that when you're in a environment where you may not have as many fans as the other team and they're loud, you need all the encouragement you can get. So
Mm-hmm.
see your teammates jumping up for you, especially when you know they don't get a lot of playing time, that means something. You know what I'm saying? So for those guys like Bryce to see you over there, like still cheering them on, still being part of that unit, being an important part of that unit. Now, when it's time for them to speak up, your name's gonna be the first one off their tongue because, like, who do we trust? Who do we
Mm-hmm.
know that is here with us in the fire, fighting with us? Is nobody but him. You know what I'm saying? Myles is here all the time. He's cheering us on all the time. He knows the plays because he's involved. So if
Mm-hmm.
he's out here, he's not going to be in La La Land because he's actually involved in the day to day.
Oh
So
yeah.
you implanted yourself in that culture, and that matters, I think, more than anything else. Is when you get to that next level, like college and professionals, it's all you hear people talk about is the culture. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
hear announcers, if you hear, the analysts there on ESPN and stuff like that, they're always trying to see what the culture of certain programs are. That is what makes a team successful, or that's what they blame when the team is not successful. It's the culture. What
Oh
is the
yeah.
culture creating? What are the players creating? And then, like you said, you look over at the bench. If I'm watching on TV and I'm looking at the bench, I'm like, man, I see a lot of jealousy on that bench. Like, ain't nobody clapping, ain't nobody, you know,
Mm-hmm.
involved. They're not gonna go far. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna
Uh,
win big games. They must not like each other. Like, what's going on over there? And then
and
you
that
got Fruits. You know what
oh
I'm saying? Fruits will be like, I'm not going there. I'm not going to Auburn. Like, that's a horrible place that's a horrible environment to be in.
oh
You
yeah.
know, I salute you for that. Like, because a lot of players wouldn't take that route, especially when the norm for a freshman isn't to travel, especially a walk-on.
Mm-hmm.
So you not traveling would not have been something to be embarrassed about. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's the norm. You
Mm-hmm.
don't travel. So for you to take the first, you know what? No, I'm gonna be involved. Practice, one-on-ones. I'm in here. And like you said, across the way, there's Bryce down there, working on shots. So if you see them, they see you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So they know who's in there with them. So that's who they want to go with them. Once you make yourself part of that culture, they want you there. But they're gonna
Uh-huh.
be there.
That's
So,
facts. And
so
then
talk, um,
that
tell
team,
me,
my freshman year team, that was probably one of the closest teams I've been on, man.
yeah,
Because it wasn't, see, Hargrave, we were real close at Hargrave because we were going through the struggle together. But
yeah,
now at Auburn, man, we living good, but at the
yeah,
same time, we still trying to push each other to be the best, because Jamal, that man, he would literally shoot 1,000 shots a day, Jamal. So it was no question when we was on scout team and we had put up some work and some shots
yeah,
that we would sometimes bust their ass sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like it wasn't no surprise for real because it wasn't like we couldn't play.
Right.
So we would give the first team a good look at what the scout would look like, and the second team. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a surprise to us at the time, because we all knew we were capable of, because we played one-on-one all the time. You
Right.
got Samir Dowdy in there torching everybody in one-on-one.
Yeah.
That freestyle type of offense, man, that's hard to guard. So
Yeah.
you learn how to play one-on-one against that man, dog. You set. So you got all these different looks, and then you put that on one team.
Yeah.
You ain't got no animosity. You probably got some drama here and there, but it ain't nothing like that's gonna separate the whole locker room, you know. But it's like you in there with a whole bunch of men, so of course there's gonna be some disagreements, but you know everybody stuck together throughout the season. And once we saw each step, each progress, man, that became insane, a monster.
Yeah.
Because we got hot. Hey, you only got to get hot in March. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I got. You only got to
Yeah.
get hot in March. You can do whatever throughout the season, but
Yeah.
when March come, you could be the worst team. And if you go on that run, man,
Yeah.
can't nobody stop you. Because we ended up winning the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Tennessee, and then we played first round. We played New Mexico State, and then second round we played Kansas. I'm pretty sure. Then
Yeah.
after Kansas was Kentucky, and then after Kentucky was Virginia. And so just getting all the way up to the Final Four, dog, they playing the drums when you get off of the plane.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, dude, this kind of dope right here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this better than the NBA, right?
No, it really is. Yeah.
Real in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
Then getting on the court to warm up, you looking around like, I didn't even know they made arenas this big. Like, I had no clue. And come to find out, we weren't even playing in the arena. We were playing in the Minnesota Vikings
Yeah.
stadium. So it's like a stadium to arena is totally different.
Yeah.
Now you looking around, you like, wow. I didn't believe that many people was gonna fit in there. Game time come,
Hey.
you look around, you like, what in the world?
Hey. Yeah.
Is this? You just look around, you see little ants, dog. You like,
Yeah.
there's no way that you come from so to like Hargrave, the military, waking up in the morning, doing all this, doing all that. That's the sacrifice right there. That's the sacrifice that had to be made, and not only sacrifice from basketball, also sacrifice from my parents.
Yeah.
You know, they helped me. That was a big part. Like the AAU trips, everything, all came into one and made that. So that was a great experience. I got to take with me forever.
Yeah.
And so the next year, not 10th grade, my sophomore year, we were a better team because after the Final Four, your recruitment class automatically about to go up like that.
Yeah.
So getting all the top players in the country, they coming over, and that was a even better experience because you get to see like how these players operate, you know, versus a senior that's a draft pick, and then you freshman that's coming in killing.
Yeah.
Isaac Okoro, man, that dog, that's a dog right there. That man, I think I call him a pit bull.
Yeah.
He'll lock you up and then come dunk on you next possession. So that was a good experience. And then you had the year before that, my freshman year, we had Chuma Okeke.
Yeah.
He was a sophomore when he got drafted. So he was guarding that in practice. Give you a headache. It make you stress. It make you stress, dog, because you really got to pay attention, or you're gonna put on a practice clip.
I understand it. So before it cuts us off, you know, we're on the Zoom. Before it cuts us off, I want you to just give a short message to kids that are coming up right now. Like, they hear your story, and I'm glad you went into detail about your experience and how you got to that ultimate level of seeing those ants, you know, in that stadium. What would you say to that young 14-year-old that may not be taking it that seriously right now? What would you say to that kid?
I would say at 14 or coming up, middle school, dog, it's only gonna be what you make it.
Yeah.
That's in anything with life. Like